What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the recording. I absolutely hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's been a while, but we've got some video game news. That's right. I used to cover a lot more video game news, but there seems like there's been nothing happening over the past couple of years. Like, games come out, they do good, they don't do good. You know, outside of the Hogwarts Legacy drama, there really hasn't been that much to talk about it, except the slow collapse of Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, after they have canceled multiple games. As of today, they also canceled a fourth title, as far as I can understand. Ex-employees are coming out and saying that the games they were designing were not what gamers wanted. It's pretty easy to please gamers. I don't really understand why it's so hard for these companies. But this article came out 2 days ago. Ubisoft canceled and delayed games because they were not what gamers want, says employees. Speaking anonymously with Insider Gaming, 5 Ubisoft employees shared how the company was going to move forward while it plans $200 million in cost reductions. So expect massive layoffs, as revealed the company's press conference on January 11th. One employee said that Ubisoft is pinning some of the blame on the advent of remote work during the midst of the lockdown. Of course they are. And consequently, it plans to remove remote work entirely over the coming year. Another said that Ubisoft placed too much of an emphasis on battle royale games, stating that the company had spread itself too thin, producing at one point over a dozen titles in the already saturated genre. The progress for some of these games are completely unknown. On the bright side, Ubisoft did confirm through an internal company-wide email that Skull and Bones, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora would be releasing in financial year 2024, so next year. Which runs from April 1st of this year to March 30th of next year. The Division, Resurgence, and Rainbow Six Mobile, along with other announced projects, will reportedly also be released. What's interesting is if you look at their stock, it's down 24% in the last month. I mean, these shares are worthless. It's down 8% in the last few days. I mean, if you look at like 5 years, at one point, the stock was trading at $25 a share. It's at an all-time low right now at $4 a share, because they came out and they said, hey, we're going to miss our sales goals and we've got even more problems. You see, Ubisoft cancels 3 games and delays Skull and Bones yet again. Now, I think that people can overreact to delays. I don't have a problem with delay because, as you know, the famous saying going, a delayed game eventually is good, but a rush game is bad forever, or whatever the saying is. I believe that's obviously very true in this space. Things aren't going smooth over at Ubisoft. The publisher has canceled another 3 games following the 4 titles that ended last summer. So a total of 7 games canceled in the last year. Not only that, the company has announced yet another delay for Skull and Bones, a game we first tried back at E3 in 2017. The Pirate Sim was supposed to finally emerge on March 9th, but Ubisoft delayed it until the early part of next year. Or which starts in April, sorry. The 6th publicly announced delay of Skull and Bones. Meanwhile, the company lowered its financial projections for the target of October-December quarter from around 830 million, let's call it 891 million US, to 779 million. So they missed by about 10%. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, so Just Dance 2023, did not perform as well as the company expected. We are facing contrasted market dynamics, and the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and everlasting live games in the context of worsening economic conditions affecting consumer spending. I don't actually believe that. I think when people are experiencing a crunch financially, they're actually more likely to buy maybe they're not buying the game brand new at $60, but look, if you could buy a game that you get 100 hours of enjoyment for $30, like I always talk about, like I got Far Cry 5, I think for $5, something like that. It was like on sale, or $10. And I was like, man, that's really good money spent. Like I just loved that game and I got it for cheap, but I still gave Ubisoft money. Like they still have a huge back catalog of games. There's probably 3 or 4 Assassin's Creed games I haven't even played. Well, maybe 2 or 3, but like, you know, and like when times get tough, I'll still pay them for a game that's a little bit older, that they still make money on. You know what I mean? Ubisoft expects that net bookings to fall by 10% for the year. Previously, the company expected those revenues would increase by 10%, so it's a 20-point swing. All told, Ubisoft has reduced its estimated operating income for this year by about $1 billion. Going forward, Ubisoft is tightening its belt and will focus on fewer games. The company is depreciating $500 million in research and development on canceled games, as well as its upcoming premium free-to-play titles. By the way, this is on top of brand new announcement today that they canceled yet another game, Project Q. Ubisoft has confirmed that one of its games canceled last week was the mysterious Project Q. It's an online battle arena game. Speaking to Eurogamer, a Ubisoft spokesperson said it was canceling development of the game, which was only announced in April 2022 to focus on other projects. Look, I mean, I think I was never a big The Division guy, but I got The Division 2 and I really enjoyed it. I mean, maybe the gameplay wasn't awesome, but I had a lot of fun playing it. And that game was buggy as heck, and I feel like it could have been way better. There are games that Ubisoft makes that, already don't get the level of attention. On top of all of this, now you have Ubisoft workers, this as of yesterday, plan to strike over CEO's email about dismal losses. Workers at Ubisoft, the company behind games like Just Dance and Assassin's Creed, plan to go on strike next week over CEO Yves Guillemot emailed them about dismal financial results, saying, "The ball is in your court to deliver." What a bizarre reason to strike. I don't understand. In January 11th email viewed by the Washington Post, Guillemot wrote that the company expects a 10% revenue decrease this year and a loss over 500 million euro. "I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success," he wrote, and asked that employees work even harder to watch their spending. So this is like what happened at Twitter, right? This is the reckoning, okay? This is why Facebook laid off, 30,000 people or whatever it was. Twitter fired 10,000 people. Sales.com or Salesforce had a huge layoff. Patreon had a huge layoff. Obviously, Ubisoft has now indicated that there's going to be a huge, massive layoff coming. You don't make up $500 million without laying off headcount. That's not very likely. But what's interesting is employees at Ubisoft Paris intend to strike on January 27th or half a day to protest the remarks. Why don't you just sign up to get laid off, bro? This is like the entitlement. Like, if I had a job, probably high paying, at some video game company or at Twitter, right? I get an email that's like, "Hey guys, things are tight. You're going to have to tighten your belt and work harder. Otherwise, we can't continue the way we are." The normal person's reaction is like, "Oh crap, I want to keep my job. That would be nice." So you're going to work harder. What the entitled employee says is like Twitter, "Oh, you can just terminate me. That's fine." Or, "Hey, I'm going to quit." Or, "We're going to go on strike." For what? You're going to strike the fact that your games suck? Now, it's not, the games that they're focusing are not the problem of the frontline workers, to be fair. But I don't understand a strike. That seems really weird. Ubisoft workers took issue with how Guillermo attributed the disappointing news to employees needing to deliver a higher level of quality, and some of his language could be taken to imply future layoffs. Oh, there's going to be layoffs. I mean, hello, Ubisoft employees who are watching this video, there's going to be layoffs, okay? I don't know how anybody would see it any way out of it. You don't make up $500 million without reducing headcount. People are angry about Guillermo's email, which both asked people to work more while cutting the teams and offered nothing in exchange. Yeah, your job. Your job is what's being offered in exchange. What do you mean? A senior game designer union representative at Ubisoft Paris who added that, they're in a union, so they get to be a little more, and they're in Europe, so they actually have workers' protection there, so they might actually be able to do something here. Who added the employees were not responsible for Ubisoft losing money from investing in NFTs or in the now defunct Battle Royale game Hyperscape, which floundered in an oversaturated market. Typo, Washington Post. That's fair to say. Guillermo uses the word like organizational adjustments. He said, "We know these words because we've seen them use other companies. It always means layoff plans." Well, duh. Now, he did offer an apology, but it received a mixed message. Why would you apologize for telling the truth? I just don't get it. People are too dang soft. And of course, also there's a putting hands on people controversy on top of that. Like, Ubisoft is in turmoil. And if I'm working there right now, I'm definitely dusting off my resume. I'm looking around. I'm making sure I can, find a new alternative because it probably, the future is going to be rocky at Ubisoft. I don't think that it's going to disappear, but I suspect it will be greatly reduced in size, just like many other tech companies. And trust me when I tell you, save your money this year. The people that are smart with their money this year and next year are going to be in a much better position because things are about to get pretty tight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe down below and we'll talk to you again real soon.